the Lord said to him, Therefore, whoever kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark on Cain, lest anyone finding him should kill him. The beast denotes the carnal nature, while the 7 heads and image of the beast denote the carnal mind, the manifestation of this carnal nature. The fact that the false prophet is symbolized as a beast tells us that it too operates from the carnal nature. That it is a false prophet is emphasized by its 2 horns like a lamb, but speaking like a dragon. In the previous study, we learned that the mark God set on Cain is the same word rendered signs regarding the 2 great lights, and token or sign of the covenant referring to the rainbow God set in the cloud after the flood in Noah's day. 8 chapters later, we find the same word again rendered token or sign regarding the covenant God made with Abram. To say it plainly, the mark of Cain is a type of the sign of the covenant. Which covenant? The old covenant, out of which comes the law. At first glance, one might think this is a good thing, right? But remember what Paul said, Christ has become of no effect to you, whosoever of you are justified by the law. You are fallen from grace. And again, the letter or law kills, but the Spirit gives life. However, herein lies God's wisdom. As Jesus taught, a seed must fall into the ground and die, or it remains alone and will not bear fruit. So it is that the law, or letter that kills, is a necessary stage in the process of resurrection. As mentioned in the previous study, the law sets the standard by which God judges, while the Spirit reflects the grace of God in that judgment. To be under the law, then, is to be fallen from grace. In other words, the remedial purpose of God's law is thrown out, replaced by an egoic need for vengeance in the afterlife. Welcome to the erroneous idea of eternal torment. Now, let's return to Revelation 13. Also, it causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark, that is, the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the one who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. I don't know about you, but when I read small, great, rich, poor, free, and slave, that pretty much covers everybody, doesn't it? So all is appropriate, meaning no exceptions. Everyone falls under the law. This is confirmed by the fact that Adam and Eve are representative of all mankind, and eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil is symbolic of the old covenant and law of God. For this reason, Paul could say, for as in, or just like Adam, all die. As for the right hand and forehead, I recommend reading Exodus chapter 13 and Deuteronomy 6 verses 1 through 8 and 11:18. The right hand typifies power, more specifically the authority by which we function. And the forehead? This word is found only twice in the King James New Testament, both times in Revelation. The word foreheads, however, is found 6 times, again, all in Revelation. 4 of these occurrences refer to the area where the seal of God is placed and the Father's name is written, while 2 refer to the mark of the beast. At this point, allow me to share the following illustration with you that I have presented in other studies on my channel. Note in the illustration that the mark of the beast falls on the left side, while the seal of God on the right. This, of course, places the mark with the Old Covenant law of God, agreeing with the understanding that the mark is the sign of the covenant. So think about this. The right side is the seal of God, correlating with Revelation 7, 1 through 8, and the New Covenant promise. Now, when something is sealed, it suggests that a process is finished or complete. Such is the case with the sealing of the servants of God in their foreheads. This seal is explained by the following. Nevertheless, the solid foundation of God stands, having this seal. The Lord knows those who are his. And let everyone who names the name of Christ depart from iniquity. But in a great house there are not only vessels of gold and silver, but also of wood and clay, some for honor and some for dishonor. Note that the seal of God is that the Lord knows those who are his. Paul then calls them vessels of gold and silver and honor, as opposed to vessels of wood and clay and dishonor. And the great house? It consists of both, does it not? It does, for Paul goes on to state in the next verse, therefore, if anyone cleanses himself from the latter, he will be a vessel for honor, sanctified and useful for the master, prepared for every good work. The one who cleanses himself from the latter is the one who gets sealed. In a word, this simply denotes reaching a place of spiritual maturity. So that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark. That is, the name of the beast or the number of its name. Buy or sell. Most traditional views believe this to be a literal, visible mark on the hand or forehead. That argues against simple logic. The beast is not literal, so why would the mark be, right? If the first is parabolic, wouldn't the second be also? So how do we explain buy or sell? The Lord addresses this in the following. Then Jesus said to his disciples, if anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever desires to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. For what profit is it to a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? See our word exchange? It explains buy or sell. Vine's Expository Dictionary defines this word as the price received as an equivalent of or in exchange for an article, an exchange. What is exchanged in these passages? Our soul. With this in mind, let's consider the following. Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Everything in the world, the cravings of sinful man, the lust of his eyes, and the boasting of what he has and does, comes not from the Father, but from the world. The world and its desires pass away, but the man who does the will of God lives forever. The boasting of what he has and does. Might has be buy and does be sell, again indicating the process of exchange? Wouldn't has and does also apply to our ideologies? Isn't it true that what we believe in a religious or spiritual sense is what we seek to sell others? So, Revelation 13:17 tells us that the mark is the name of the beast. Revelation 14:11, it's referred to as the mark of its name. In Revelation 13:1, we're told that the beast has the name of blasphemy on its heads. And we cannot leave out the fact that the woman seated on the back of the beast has a name written on her forehead, and this name is Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. As we see, none of these names, as it were, are literal and visible names, but indicative of the inward characteristics of the heart and mind. That being said, I think the name that best describes carnality is in the following. And they had as king over them the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon, but in Greek he has the name Apollyon. Abaddon is defined by Strong's as a destroying angel. Apollyon is defined as a destroyer, taken from the root meaning to destroy fully, reflexive, to perish or lose, literal or figurative. I will close with the following. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall.